Okay, so we're gonna go through our motor control and activation section now. So we do this right after we stretch and right before we get into the intense dynamic warm-up, just to get our body moving and our joints ready for the lift. So first, we're gonna do floor slides. So I want you to lay down on your back with your shoulders and your lower back on the ground. From here, you're gonna take your arms, you're gonna put them out to the side at a 90-degree angle, just like this. From here, I want you to take a deep breath in, exhale out, and as you exhale, drive your lower back to the floor so everything is touching the ground. And from here, all you're gonna do is just raise your arms overhead, but as you're raising them, I want you to keep your hands, your elbows, and your shoulders in contact with the ground the whole time. So you're gonna have to actively push into the ground as you raise your hands above. And once you get to a point where your elbows start to come off the ground, stop at that point, come back down, go again. And you're gonna do 10 of those. Next, we're gonna move to an active straight leg raise. So if you have a band, use it. If not, that's okay. You don't need to use it. So we're gonna be in the same position, on our backs. We're gonna take the band, we're gonna put it around our working leg here. We're gonna reach our leg up. We're gonna keep our knee flexed. So I don't wanna see any bent knees. Make sure your knees flex, get to your end range position here. The other leg, I want that leg stapled on the ground. I don't want it to come up at all. So you're gonna have to give this leg a little bit more slack than you normally would so that this other leg can stay planted on the ground. And I want your hips in a neutral position. So both your hip bones should be directly facing the ceiling. This hip that's not working should not be rotated out at all. So from here, we're gonna lean back, again, keeping our knees straight. With the other leg that's on the ground, we're gonna raise it up, meet this leg, come back down. And as I'm raising this leg, I'm making sure I'm keeping my hips in a neutral position. I don't want this leg to rotate out, to rotate in. I wanna make sure my hips and my pelvis maintain in a neutral position the whole time. So we're gonna do 10 here, and then we're gonna switch legs. After that, we're gonna get into a glute bridge. So again, same position. For this, we can have our hands outside our body here to give us a little bit more of a good base of support. I want you to bring your heels nice and close to your butt, and from here, just want you to think about lifting your hips, pushing your hips up to the ceiling. You should have a nice line from your heels to your glutes, all the way up through your back and through your neck and your head here. Come back down, tap, lift, and hold. And when you get up to the top here, hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds. Come back down, up, hold, come back down. I don't want to see you overextend. I want to see you right here, your back and your head and your neck should stay in the same position the whole time. Your hips and your glutes should be the ones that are working. Again, hold at the top, come back down. From here, we're going to work on some hip flexion. So I want you to get into a good push-up position. And from here, you're going to think about bringing the same side knee to the same side elbow. Just like this. Now, this drill should be activating it should be working your core, but it should mainly be working your hips here. So I don't want you to think about, your traditional kind of mountain climber exercise where you're all over the place. You should be in a good tabletop position the entire time. Your back should not move. You should think about It's someone putting a glass of water on your back and you don't want it to spill. So I'm here, back down, other side, maintaining a good neutral position the entire time. And you're going to do 10 on each leg. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, we're going to work on our ankle mobility here. So I want you to come up against the wall. What you're going to do, we're working our right leg here. We're going to put our right leg nice and close to the wall. Our back leg really doesn't matter too much where it is, but we can just leave it almost in like a lunge position behind us here. Now, from here, I want you to think about making sure your heel stays on the ground, and I want you to drive your knee over your middle two toes and try to touch the wall. And when you get to the end range position here where your knee wants to start to come off the ground, stop, hold it, and I want you to contract your foot by thinking about trying to bring your toes up to your knee. So you're in what's called ankle dorsiflexion. So you're really working hard to drive that knee over the toe, and I want you to hold this here. 5 seconds, come back, reset, get to the end range position, hold it, 5 seconds, and then switch sides.